The official start of the International Champions Cup from Guangzhou, China. AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund getting set to battle in the rain. Jonathan Yardley and Casey Keller getting ready for this one. And Casey, a big contrast in the off-season spending. AC Milan spent so much money. Here's a look at who we'll see today. Not a lot of those new faces. Who are the guys who stand out?
Well, I think you do. You have to look at the couple new faces that are in there. And you're looking at, Frank Kessie, you're looking at Rodriguez, guys looking to set an early example to their manager in a team that's going to be full of competition. When there's 10 new signings and more signings to come, you got to distance yourself as quick as you can.
On the Borussia Dortmund side, this is a lot more familiar in terms of personnel, and we get to see both Aubameyang and Pulisic from the start.
Well, yes, and there's still big question marks about Aubameyang, and is he still going to be there with Borussia Dortmund? There's the question mark is why he's still there. There's so many suitors, supposedly, with the consistency in which he's scored goals over the last couple years, but so far nobody's put the big check in front of Dortmund to get them on their side.
Big checks are exactly what AC Milan, their new Chinese ownership group, have been writing. And we're told there are talks going on in China about Aubameyang potentially going back to AC Milan. But, of course, as you said, he's been linked with other just as big clubs. Second game of an Asian tour for Borussia Dortmund. Second game of preseason for AC Milan, as you see the official this evening. Been raining much of the day. It rained when these teams trained yesterday. Not exactly what you're hoping for with preseason weather.
Now, there's definitely in preseason you're looking to just be comfortable, understanding there's going to be a lot of subs. You want to stay warm. You don't want to get injured in a preseason friendly. And the weather, I mean, it's warm in China. It's just been a little bit damp.
AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund kicking off 2 weeks of the big clubs squaring off in preseason here in the International Champions Cup. China, Singapore, and the United States, the venues this year. We're ready and we're underway in the International Champions Cup from Guangzhou, China. AC Milan, of course, in black and red. Borussia Dortmund, of course, in yellow and black. Two teams used to success. Borussia Dortmund, third in Germany last year, will play in the Champions League once again. Won the German Cup. AC Milan, it's been a while since they've reached those heights that they so often achieved, but they're back in Europe, qualifying for the Europa League this year by a single point. And they've got qualifying games coming up shortly. Trying to defend here. Christian Pulisic, the American, battling, and AC Milan able to clear.
I mean, it's something we're going to see throughout this match is Dortmund loves to get numbers forward. They attack very strong down the wings, try to get crosses in the box, and AC Milan is a team, we mentioned about how many changes have come into this squad, and there's going to be a time period where they're going to have to kind of figure each other out, and particularly in preseason when you're mixing up squads anyway for games like this.
There's Pulisic finding Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, 40 goals in all competitions last year, to Dembele. And his efforts saved by Marco Storari here just 2 minutes in.
Yeah, and as expected, you see the cohesiveness from Dortmund, from the few changes, the quick touch from Pulisic into Aubameyang and then Dembele. So players that have played together for some time, you can see already that there will be a learning curve, particularly defensively, for AC Milan.
Vincenzo Montella, his second year in charge of AC Milan, going to have some serious personnel to work with, and as Casey mentioned, they're not done yet. We'll tell you about some of those transfer signings as we go. I think 4 of them are en route right now to join the club in China. They'll play Bayern Munich Saturday in Shenzhen. Here's Pulisic into the penalty area, tried to feed the onrushing Aubameyang and couldn't connect. This is Gonzalo Castro. Good control by Bartra. Franck Kessié able to break it up for AC Milan. There's Peter Bosz. Took Ajax to the Europa League final and takes over for Borussia Dortmund. That's the big change. But again, as far as personnel goes, Borussia Dortmund haven't done a whole lot. Their 2 biggest signings were under 23 players, Daoud and Philip, who haven't joined the club yet.
Dortmund very strong in their youth development, having lots of young players, understanding that there's no reason to necessarily splash big in the transfer market if you have young players coming through that have proven themselves. And they're probably still waiting to see about that transfer from Aubameyang. If that brings 60, 70, 80 million euros is what it's being linked at, there would definitely be resources available to strengthen if necessary.
The substitutes scrolling across your screen, including the Donnarumma brothers, goalkeepers for AC Milan, reunited. And for Borussia Dortmund, their subs available. Here's Dembele, left-footed, just wide. All Borussia Dortmund early.
Yeah, it's a giveaway from AC Milan. Dembele had better options. A wide open Christian Pulisic at the far post elects to shoot from a difficult angle and just wide.
AC Milan again, 10 additions already, near 200 million euros in transfer fees, and the biggest, the center back Leonardo Bonucci from Juventus. Again, he's on his way. They got Lucas Biglia from Lazio as well. And we'll see some of the other new additions, Kessié and Barini, in today's lineup. And you mentioned the left back Ricardo Rodriguez, 3 of those. For Dortmund, that's another addition for them. Dan Axel Zagadou, the French left back today, because the captain Marcel Schmelzer had a slight ankle injury. Zagadou more of a center back, but they're going to see him out wide today. That was Barini getting it over to Ignacio Abate, the right back. And Mbaye Niang could go on loan, could stay with Milan. That pass intercepted by Zagadou. Here's Pulisic from Hershey, Pennsylvania. He was with Dortmund for 2.5 years, and what an impact he's made, both for Dortmund, playing almost every game last year, and for the U.S. national team, still at this young age. Sebastian Rode getting forward, trying to get it back to Dembele, loose in the penalty area off the feet of Storari, and Christian Zapata able to clear.
Yeah, Dortmund having all kinds of success in the right-hand side, just unable to find the final pass, the final shot. But in this opening 6 minutes, they've caused AC Milan all kinds of problems.
There's Carlos Bacca. He's going to be under some pressure. Seventh minute in the opening game officially of the International Champions Cup. Much more to come here on the ESPN networks. We'll have you covered early on the games from China and Singapore, and in prime time on the games in North America. There's Zagadou and Niang, and it'll be a throw-in for Dortmund.
Niang, another player who on loan last year at Watford, who really hasn't necessarily fulfilled what they all felt that he was going to when he first kind of broke in at 16. And it'll be interesting to see in a squad, and we talk about this Uber drive to success with the changes that AC Milan bringing in 10 offseason signings, more signings to come, players like Niang coming back off of loan as well, being seen. How is this AC Milan team going to find a rhythm, kind of find that cohesiveness? And it's games like this where players like Niang, players like Rodriguez, players that have come in. You mentioned Bonucci, another, a huge component defensively, but with so many changes, being able to compete against Juve is going to be difficult straight off the bat.
Jose Mauri and Mark Batra sharing guilty responsibilities for high boots there. Mauri got the worst of it. Another one coming back from loan to Empoli. And they're still checking on Mauri as Bonaventura prepares to deliver the corner. Dortmund have struggled to defend these in their 2 preseason games so far. And that one curled out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Roman Weidenfeller, the veteran goalkeeper. Typically the number 2 for Dortmund. Starts here. Jose Mauri getting permission to come back on.
I think it's preseason for the referees as well.
I mean, I think the referee had it right. It was a goal kick. Weidenfeller was trying to take an extra 20 yards.
Thought it was a free kick and then took another 20 yards after that. And I think sometimes in these preseason games, the players aren't too worried about the specifics of. They just play the game. They're just looking for an exercise to get ready to play the match. And obviously in this International Champions Cup, they're trying to keep some semblance of organization and trying to stick with the rules.
Bartra stepping in for Dortmund, and his long ball will run to Marco Storari, also the number 2 goalkeeper on the AC Milan side. Milan opened at the Swiss club Lugano with a 4-0 win. Dortmund have already played friendlies against Rot-Weiss Eschen, losing that one away. And in Japan against Urawa Red Diamonds, winning that 3-2.
Yeah, those of us who've played in those kind of early preseason games, you're playing against lower division opposition. They're extremely more motivated than you are to play in these games. So not a big surprise that Rot-Weiss Essen would come out and win a game against Dortmund. They're close in proximity, and
there were a lot of Dortmund fans there. Do you still, though, in preseason, even when you get an L hung on you?
Well, you try not to. What you don't want to do is you don't want to kind of embarrass yourself in those matches, and you're still trying to prove something to your manager, regardless if it's the first game and you've had 3-a-days for the last week. And
there's Niang getting a shot, but couldn't get much on it.
Yeah, and you're not really fit, ready to play. So, but of course, many times you have managers come out and say, look, represent the club the way you expect our club expects to be represented. They'll be disappointed with a loss like that, but understand that it doesn't necessarily mean anything in the big picture.
You're watching the International Champions Cup on ESPN, presented by Heineken. Opening game of the tournament from Guangzhou, China, AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund. Footwork, this is Kessié coming to Milan on loan with an obligation to buy from Atalanta. Under some pressure there from Rode. And Mauri whistled for the foul. It'll be a Dortmund free kick.
Yeah, Dortmund trying to press high at different times, putting AC Milan under pressure. Once Pulisic loses possession to Abate, it's that quick transition, trying to win the ball back high, and eventually the foul from Mari, and Dortmund get possession back.
Socrates, ever present at the back for Dortmund. Wide for Dembele. 20 assists last year while leading the team in games in all competitions. Şahin out wide. Rhoda against Ricardo Rodriguez. Good first touch by Dembele, but he couldn't get onto it. Baca outmaneuvered by Bartra there, and another Dortmund free kick.
Yeah, Bartra a little slow to get up. The arm just comes across the face, catches him. Not sometimes they're called friendlies, but sometimes they're not as friendly as you would think they would be.
Well, hey, with all the new faces coming in for AC Milan, if you're there now, you need to prove a point to Vincenzo Montella and earn your minutes if you can.
And already you're looking at Rodriguez and Barini on the left-hand side of AC Milan that have struggled getting possession, struggled defensively, and then a wasted opportunity from Borussia Dortmund. But you make a very valid point with so many new bodies coming in. Every opportunity has to be taken advantage of by these AC Milan players.
Nuri Şahin, who had that free kick a minute ago, on it deep in the Dortmund midfield for Zagadou. Now Pulisic. Crossfield, Dembele against Rodriguez. Overshot everybody, but it'll stay with the yellow and black. Yeah. Pulisic with one good move, but didn't fool Abate for long.
Yeah, very experienced defender, and Abate. Christian does a good job of being at the far post, trying to recycle the poor cross from Dembele, get it back in the area. But Abate wise to the move and shields it out for a goal kick. And then again, AC Milan trying to play out of the back. Early pressure from Borussia Dortmund.
"15 minutes in, and Dortmund have controlled this one most of the way. As we mentioned, much more cohesive at this point, 2 weeks into preseason. Zagadou, the 18-year-old, will throw in, and Aubameyang moves it to the Dortmund back line. Here's Dembele, looking for the run of Aubameyang. That great speed, laid off for Rhoda. Here's Pulisic. Shot coming, goal coming. Nuri Şahin from outside scores the first goal of the International Champions Cup for Borussia Dortmund.
It's good build-up play from Borussia Dortmund. Ball from the right-hand side, coming all the way across. Pulisic, good first touch. Sees Son come in wide open, but it has to be said, Storari disappointed, knows. Got a touch on it. Angle was a little bit off. Should have made the save. But in the end, it's a reward for a Borussia Dortmund team that has started much better than AC Milan, but one in which the goalkeeper would like to have back.
Şahin became the youngest Bundesliga player ever back in 2012. He's 28 now. And he gets the opening goal, aided a little bit by the wet conditions, of course, but hit that one well on one bounce. And as you said, Sterari not going to want to see the replay too many times.
No, when you're, I guess he's not really in competition with Donnarumma. So, but in any time you're a goalkeeper, you want to prove yourself. You have an opportunity. 17 minutes into a game against a club like Borussia Dortmund, you don't want to be making a mistake in gifting them the lead.
Tomorrow we'll have another International Champions Cup game for you, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Another Italian powerhouse, Roma, battling PSG from France's Ligue 1. The first ever soccer match at Comerica Park in Detroit. That's ESPN2, also available streaming live on the ESPN app. Everybody in Italy chasing Juventus, who we'll see later in the tournament. And AC Milan right now may be the most ambitious of those. Another turnover. Dembele slotting it through. Pulisic trying to turn, goes down, penalty kick. Christian Pulisic earned it. And Borussia Dortmund can take control of this in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, Pulisic just cannot believe he's furious with the Chinese referee. Good run, good turn. Maybe there's a little clip there of the ankle. There's a better look, and
there's no ball.
There's no ball. There's contact. Pulisic goes down. I understand the call. Pulisic isn't happy, but on replay, he doesn't have much of an argument. And Aubameyang with the opportunity to double Dortmund's lead.
40 goals last year, 31 in the Bundesliga, 7 in the Champions League. For the Gabon international, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Aubameyang fires it home, and Borussia Dortmund lead 2-0 in the International Champions Cup. Second goal in 3 preseason games for Aubameyang. He's not going to stop scoring.
Well, Sterari might have been at fault for the first goal, but he's doing nothing with this one. Excellently taken free kick. High. Difficult for goalkeepers. And it has to be said, the 2-goal lead, much deserved by Borussia Dortmund. 20 minutes in this opening match of the International Champions Cup.
Nuri Sahin from about 20 yards in the 17th minute. And Aubameyang from exactly 12, the penalty spot in the 20th. As the rain continues to pelt the players in Guangzhou. Here's Zagadou and Niang. Zapata restarts for Milan. Zagadou with a strong win of the header. Again, he's 6'3", often plays as a center back, so he's quite happy to get into those. He goes long here, and Aubameyang has a step onto his left foot. It's deflected wide for a corner kick. You can see the danger that has so many clubs, including his opponents tonight, lurking.
But it's every second ball Dortmund's winning. It's every 50-50, and AC Milan just not on the same page at the start of this match. And a little bit of space. Aubameyang tries to find a deflection, leads to the corner. And AC Milan just struggling to get the ball even out of their own penalty area at times. And when they do, then possession's quickly given away.
There's that possession number backing up everything we've seen so far.
And the possession that AC Milan has been almost in their own penalty area, in their own defensive third, under pressure from Borussia Dortmund, trying to win the ball back higher up the field, creating chances from the turnovers.
That one rolls all the way back to Roman Weidenfeller. The International Champions Cup on ESPN is presented by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly. Bringing you games over the next 2 weeks from 2 continents. China and Singapore in Asia, and of course, all the North American venues making up the bulk of the schedule. Dortmund just flew in yesterday from Japan, so they had gotten some of the long flights out of the way. Yesterday was only a 5-hour flight. There's a turnover picked by Baca. Still Carlos Baca. Shoots himself and scores from deep. Unlikely goal. Gets AC Milan back in it.
Yeah, it's really AC Milan's first possession, first turnover higher up the field. Baca has a lot to do. Zagadou gives way. Looked like he had done a great job of recovery in Zagadou, but then Baca hits a shot, speculative from distance, outside of the foot, and I'm not sure Weidenfeller is unsighted or it just doesn't get a good jump on the ball again. You know, Storari will be disappointed with the opening goal for Dortmund, and Weidenfeller will be disappointed with the opening goal for Milan.
Yeah,
but that's so important for Carlos Baca, a player that will be under pressure. You have so many new signings, and the hint that more signings are on the way, particularly, you know, Morata player, Aubameyang being listed as a player that AC Milan looking to strengthen even more up front.
Yeah, they've also been linked with Renato Sanchez, who plays out wide, but up front, Morata, Aubameyang, and then Andrea Belotti from Torino seems like maybe he's the backup option.
Right.
But all of them, if they're brought in, are there to take Carlos Baca's job.
And what do you want to do as a player that's under pressure in a preseason when people haven't been bought yet? Is score goals. So Baca will be very happy that one turnover makes a move, maybe not the cleanest strike from 25 yards, but finds its way into the back of the net all the same.
Weidenfeller 36, Storari 40. Both look a little rusty in the early going. Maybe AC Milan just finding their wind though, and Baca kicks the ball into the stands in frustration with that decision and picks up a yellow card for it.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Baca a little bit. It looked like just Socrates just goes down. You see the turf give way.
I thought Baca was mad that no advantage had been called. I thought it was a foul on Dortmund.
Yeah, there's more than just Baca scratching his head on the call from the Chinese referee.
There's Piszczek, the right back. He and Dembele apparently kept it in, and Storari comes well out to clear for a throw-in. Rain looks to have slowed just a bit. Temperature in the 80s in Guangzhou. That second ball eventually, finally falls Milan's way. Took some effort. And here's Niang, who's switched over to the left side with Barini coming to the near right side.
Yeah, they had to change something, AC Milan, from that right side of Borussia Dortmund, just causing all kinds of problems. Putting Niang over that side, Barini sliding over to this near hand side just to see if they can get a little bit more luck, and Castro just unable. But the hard challenge, a little bit slow to get up.
Borussia Dortmund 2, AC Milan 1. If you're just waking up anywhere in the States, you've missed some early action. Dortmund has controlled most of it. Nuri Sahin with the opening goal. Christian Pulisic assisted on that, drew a penalty kick that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang converted. Dortmund was up 2-0, and Carlos Bacca scoring with the outside of his right from 30-plus yards to get AC Milan back in it. Here's Dembele. Slowed down there, but gets back on the ball. Now dispossessed. That was Barini. And again, Dortmund able to win it back in the attacking half. Zagadou. Sahin forward for Pulisic. I mean, the disparity in possession, Casey, is striking for a preseason game between two big clubs like this. If you're AC Milan at the moment, what are you taking out of it? Mostly just defending.
Well, it's one thing if you're kind of defending with purpose and you're allowing Dortmund like that last kind of spell of possession, just passing the ball around the back and not really having any kind of penetration on you defensively. But that hasn't been the case for the majority of this first half. So much of the first half has been Dortmund winning the ball, putting AC Milan under pressure higher up the field, and creating chances out of those turnovers. And I think that would be the most worrying sign for AC Milan. Now, when you look at this AC Milan lineup that we're seeing tonight, or at least in this first half, because I think we're all assuming that there's going to be massive changes in the second half, this is not what the opening match of the season is going to look like. So some of this in these early matches are managers trying to make decisions on fringe players early. So when you're looking at players, for example, like a Barini or like a Niang or like a Mauri, somebody like that, they're almost looking at them to say, do they fit in my plans, or do I find a way to loan them out at some stage later in this transfer window because of what we've seen early on? And what those players are trying to do early on is prove to the manager that I belong, that I'm part of your plans for this season going forward. And you've seen it 100 times. Some kid emerging out of preseason, out of expectation, and he did so well that the manager has no other choice but to find playing time for him in that season. Or you see it exactly the other way. They try to put him in. They think that there's something there. And in the end, they say, nope, he's not quite ready yet. Let's find a team where this kid's going to get some playing time, and hopefully he'll develop and be ready in the future.
You saw the 3 goals during the hydration break. Hot and humid night. 2-1 Borussia Dortmund lead here in the first game of the International Champions Cup. Now MLS soccer returns to ESPN Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, on ESPN, an MLS special edition presented by Audi, an Eastern Conference clash in the Southeast. Kaká's Orlando City taking on Atlanta United, and Josef Martinez also streaming live on the ESPN app. Mark Batra, the player, down.
Yeah, I think Bahraini just was trying to step over him, or would just accidentally stepped on him. Bartra still hurts just the same if it was on purpose or accidentally. And here on the replay is just kind of goes to step and just accidentally steps on his leg. At least I hope it's accidentally steps on his leg.
Second year with Dortmund, and of course Bartra the most hard hit by that bus blast before the Champions League game in April, breaking a bone, trying to establish himself in the Dortmund team for this year. You're watching the International Champions Cup on ESPN, presented by Heineken. Opening game coming your way from China today. Borussia Dortmund out to a 2-1 lead on AC Milan. This will be it for Dortmund's participation this year. They're scheduled to be in the U.S. next year. AC Milan will go on to play Bayern Munich in Shenzhen on Saturday. Dortmund back to Germany. They've got the Super Cup and then the opening game of the German Cup, both to play before Bundesliga action kicks in. And Milan are just 9 days away from Europa League qualifying against Universitatea Craiova from Romania. Going to have to advance through 2 rounds of qualifying just to make the Europa League. It's a far cry from what Milan are used to, but they hope it's a step back toward Champions League soccer. And it sounds like Milan's got some support in the stadium. Turnover here forced by Kessié. Connects with Bonaventura. Now Rodriguez into the attack. Niang going end line. And the cross was deflected into the arms of Weidenfeller.
Yeah, but one of the first times in this half that we've seen possession from AC Milan and actually combining to create half a chance. Where the goal in which they scored, and there's a replay of the clear foul from Niang, but so much of it has been just AC Milan, Dortmund controlling the run of play high up the field, winning the balls in midfield at least. The one goal came from Baca was a turnover in which it was just a speculative counterattack, which looked like it had been stopped twice. But it's rarely in this first half have we seen AC Milan with any kind of possession with purpose in clearing that first round of pressure from Borussia Dortmund and getting the ball into Dortmund's half and creating chances from it.
Opta telling us just 14% of the action has been in AC Milan's attacking third. The other 86%, 2/3 of the field tilted toward Borussia Dortmund. They're on the attack here with Aubameyang. Dembele left it, and it was scuffed in the end. That's when a shot goes out for a throw-in. It's one to forget and laugh about.
Yeah, you want to laugh about those in one of your first preseason games. Yeah. But still, again, you just the timing off. AC Milan back line steps up for offside. It gets beaten. They do a good job of coming back, but then you see the numbers. It's just cross goes into the box. One player dummies it. It goes to another player, and you don't see a red and black shirt anywhere near. And we've talked about this. We've talked about with that many changes, with these changes of lineups, that it is going to take time for this AC Milan squad to shake itself out and to figure out, 4 players of the signings yet to be here. Obviously, one of those key signings in Bonucci, who will be an anchor in the back, who will be a leader, who will be a guy that'll get that back line organized. The way that the AC Milan faithful were so used to seeing for so many years with the likes of Borussia and Maldini and just Italian legends. And when the AC Milan was challenging for not only Italian titles, but European titles as well.
It's kind of the Italian tradition, these great leaders from the back, and Milan have acquired one, which means every other center back on the roster is now competing for one spot, you figure, and they've got a lot of them. They just brought in Musacchio, Gomez and Zapata have been there. We're seeing Paletta now, and there are a couple others. So as Casey mentioned, there's a long time left in this transfer window. Somebody's going out on loan, somebody might be getting sold. Unless someone gets hurt.
Well, but there's players too that are they're gonna want to. When you're bringing in 10 players, I mean, look, some of these players are coming in as squad guys, but you would assume that the majority of them are coming in because they're better than what is there. When an AC Milan that finishes in 6th place, you're assuming that they're bringing in 10, 12 players in the transfer window to make their first team better, not their squad. Yes, they want their overall squad to be better, but most importantly, they want their starting 11 to be better. And so players that have then been there, they've proven that they haven't been good enough. They're not going to want to be number 30 on the depth chart. They're not going to want to be the 5th center back. They're going to want to go out on loan. They're going to want to maybe go to a club where they're going to get playing time. So it's understandable, and understandably for AC Milan, that it's going to take some time to figure out what the best formula is, what the best starting 11, what the best 16 players that are going to give this AC Milan club a better chance of reaching the heights that they're used to, that the fans are used to seeing.
Much more on AC Milan and their summer acquisitions coming your way with our ESPN FC halftime report. Sebastian Salazar and company will look at those moves and how Milan can compete in Serie A this season. Again, still about a month away from starting that campaign as well. And we'll also have highlights from Real Salt Lake and Manchester United on the Ally halftime report. That's all coming up for you as Borussia Dortmund can't take advantage here with Gonzalo Castro firing high.
Well, as has been standard for this entire first half, the left-hand side of AC Milan is just being torn apart. Aubameyang with an excellent move, puts it into a dangerous area, and Castro just can't get over the top of the ball, or very easily could have been the 3rd goal for Dortmund near the end of this first half.
Here's Barini. He's been quiet, looking for the run of Niang. Again, the rare chance in the attacking third for Milan. Barini's cross overshoots Bonaventura, but Ricardo Rodriguez, Swiss left back, keeps it in play for Milan. Here's Zapata stepping forward. Nice touch by Aubameyang. And he's off to the races. Pass came up a little bit short, and Milan able to deal with it.
That's how quickly Dortmund, what started with possession from AC Milan, recovering the long cross, trying to recycle it back into the box to create a chance, was a giveaway that instantly went into a counterattack opportunity for Dortmund, and Borini just caught in possession. Zagadou touching the ball, and once again, it's Dortmund comfortably in possession in midfield.
And just more active and energetic for the most part throughout the game.
Both sides of the ball. Dortmund more active when they have possession, and considerably more active in pressuring AC Milan to win the ball back.
Zapata with the step there for Milan.
And again, it's something as simple as Aubameyang just working that little bit harder to win the second ball, bouncing around in midfield to get possession back for his side. That would be one of probably the most worrying for Montella when he sees his team, that he sees that they're just being outworked. They're being outworked. They're being out-hustled. The fight for second balls, and it's all Dortmund.
May see some younger players as part of that second half group for AC Milan, and we'll see if they bring a bit more energy. Because you're 100% right, they need it. Sterari out for Ricardo Rodriguez. He wears number 68. The number he wanted wasn't available. This is the year his mom was born. It's a nice tribute. I don't know how most parents feel about you giving away their age, but he's showing her some love.
Since I was born in '69, that makes me feel old.
Just one of the many ways, Casey.
Yeah, it is interesting seeing a number like 69, and Donnarumma is 99, and it's an interesting trend.
Jose Mauri into the attack, leaves it for Barini to his left foot. Couldn't connect either with the goal or with a teammate at the back post. Something coherent-ish, at least in attack.
Yeah, again, Barini, good cutback coming in on the left foot. It doesn't catch it as well as you would like. Baca does a good job of coming in and seeing if he can get a touch. He can't. Weidenfeller happy to see the ball flash wide of his right-hand post. And Barini, a player as well. Difficult year in Sunderland last year, on loan with AC Milan, looking to establish an opportunity to trying to get his career back on track.
Castro being chased by Kessié. Back to Shaheen. And a player down away from the ball.
Yeah, it looks like Kessié. Not sure if he just looked like he just got his foot stepped on a little bit. But everyone trying to be a little bit friendly in a game. Nobody wants to, yes, you want to be competitive, but you understand it's preseason. You don't want to injure your opponents and yourself. But you still have to play the game, and you have to play the game right.
Still don't know if that was just a foul called or what, but it ends up with Milan. Que sera, sera. Wrong language, I know. 2 minutes of stoppage time thanks to that hydration break here in the first half. One that's been controlled by Dortmund. Goals from Shaheen in the 17th minute. Aubameyang from the penalty spot in the 20th. AC Milan getting one back. Carlos Baca in the 24th minute. But it hasn't really brought them back into the game throughout this first half. They will get a free kick here, though.
Yeah, and I think that'll be the only disappointment for Borussia Dortmund in this first half is how much they've dominated this game so far, that AC Milan are still in this game, and with a great opportunity from a dangerous area to find a much against the run of play equalizer.
They've given up 5 goals in 2 preseason games. Leading 2-1 here, final minute of the first half. And the Swiss left back, Rodriguez, eyeing this one. Rodriguez can't find the top corner.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's from an angle. Looked like Weidenfeller was never fooled. Always going over. Assuming the referee will blow the whistle as soon as Weidenfeller puts it back into play.
Casey, your predictive powers, as ever.
It's amazing.
Borussia Dortmund 2, AC Milan 1 through 45 minutes in the opening game of the International Champions Cup. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, where will he end up for the season? He's scoring goals for Dortmund now. They lead it 2-1 at the half. Nuri Sahin had the first for Dortmund with a one-time finish from outside the penalty area. Aubameyang from the penalty spot the second. And again, Carlos Bacca got one back for AC Milan. Underway in the second half in the International Champions Cup. AC Milan with the ball, hoping to have more of it in this second half. In, of course, the Rossoneri. And Borussia Dortmund knocking it out for a throw in there in yellow and black. No changes that we've seen yet for Dortmund, and there are the two, Musacchio for Paletta and Çalhanoğlu for Niang for AC Milan. Wow, Under took that one in a cakewalk. Oh, there's some more. Dominic Reimann, the new goalkeeper for Borussia Dortmund, and Felix Passlack in the game at outside back as well. Reimann started for Germany at the Under-20 World Cup, but was dropped after the first game when they lost to Venezuela. Part of that Dortmund youth system that Casey was talking about. So only 4 combined changes, 2 on each side as we restart. And already AC Milan maybe showing a bit more intent than they did in the first half. Looking for Bacca, trying to turn. Was denied that time by Bartra. And that'll be a free kick for Dortmund as they tried to break. There's a look at one of the new signings, Matteo Musacchio.
Yeah, a lot of competition for center back position at AC Milan.
Hey, he was a bargain. He only cost 18 million euros from Villarreal.
And you mentioned in the first half that obviously everybody's fighting for the spot next to Bonucci. There's no question that Bonucci is going to be the leader in the back for AC Milan, and it's finding the right partnership with Bonucci, and Musacchio, one of those guys that has been brought in to challenge for that second position.
Socrates at the back for Dortmund. Ahead for Dembele. Skinned Rodriguez with his first touch. Can't beat Musacchio with his second. Storari under pressure. Got it away. Aubameyang on the doorstep was offside. It'll be a free kick for Milan.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of offside. But again, it's AC Milan putting themselves in trouble, trying to play out of the back where it's not on, and Pulisic doing a good job of just being alert and winning possession back higher up the field. But yeah, no question about that call. You didn't need VAR for that one.
Thank goodness. Bonaventura leaves it for Rodriguez. Now gets it back. Rodriguez floats it in, headed up, and now cleared as far as Musacchio. Ricardo Rodriguez, Casey, you and I thought did not cover himself in glory in the first half. The new left back did at least find time to get forward there. He'll leave that one for Bonaventura, who's moved out wide. Barini on the far side. And to flex out for an AC Milan corner kick.
Yeah, it feels as if AC Milan has already doubled the amount of time they spent in the final third of Dortmund than they did in the first half, the whole first half combined. And there had to be a conversation at halftime.
It might have been a one-way conversation.
And there had to be better energy levels. They had to press they had to press Dortmund higher up the field. They couldn't just allow them to just dictate play for 90 minutes, and already you're seeing a reaction from this AC Milan team.
Çalhanoğlu into the game, delivers the corner kick. Looking for Zapata. He had an unforgettable goal on the back end of a corner kick against Inter Milan that may have eventually been the difference in getting a Europa League spot. Not quite the same connection there. Bonaventura. Cross dealt with by Socrates. Again, you can see higher pressure on Dembele as soon as he receives the ball. Not effective yet, though. Looking for Aubameyang. Franck Kessié able to break it up. Some of the skill for the Ivorian, but he turns it over. Şahin. Aubameyang trying to find Castro. Overshot him, and Storari claims.
Yeah, once again, it's AC Milan just unable to break the pressure. One pass and the second pass picked off, and Dortmund very quick to hit on the counterattack. Aubameyang trying to find Castro in the middle, but Storari does a good job of reading the situation and coming out and cleaning up. But again, it's AC Milan who can't break the Dortmund pressure from out of the back, and Dortmund creates chances from it. And again, just a replay of the foul, and AC Milan again trying to play out of the back, and Dortmund doing a good job of making things difficult.
Jonathan Yardley, Casey Keller with you. AC Milan and Borussia Dortmund meeting from Guangzhou, China to open the International Champions Cup. 2 weeks of some fun matchups that usually you only see in the Champions League. Very occasionally maybe in the Europa League, with AC Milan playing in it this year. Manchester United winning it last year. Baca and Socrates tangling, and with the help of the official Zhang Lei, Dortmund come away with the ball. Here's Pulisic on the run and wins a free kick for Dortmund. Barini, who's had to defend more than maybe he's wanted to, called for the foul.
But that first step from Christian Pulisic, just so quick, just gets on the wrong side of Barini. Uses good strength, the young American, and again, won the penalty for his side in the first half and wins a free kick on this occasion in another dangerous area.
Free kick sent in. Milan able to deal with it. Dortmund still in possession with Rode. And Dortmund go backward. You're watching the International Champions Cup on ESPN, presented by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly. First of a couple games in the tournament for AC Milan, the only one for Dortmund this year. Ousmane Dembele, 10 goals, 20 assists last year on the run. Zagadou gets it back from Aubameyang. He's not known as an attacking defender and was able to win a corner kick.
Then I think there might be some confusion again from the Chinese refereeing crew claiming they didn't see the ball. It looked like it was clearly out for a corner.
You and I saw a corner kick.
I saw a very clear corner kick, and it looks like in the end they get the right call. Took a little time, but they figured it out.
Gonzalo Castro will deliver. Third year with Dortmund. Çalhanoğlu knocks it toward the center arc. And Rhoda, after initially struggling, was able to break up the attack, now turns it over. Milan with numbers for once. Bonaventura. And Rhoda, highly motivated after turning it over, came back to snuff out the chance.
Yeah, turned it over twice, did a great job in recovering the first time, then tries to pass it out of the back, and good pressure from AC Milan to win it, but then Rhoda doing an excellent job of just good tenacity and making sure that the counterattack was cleaned up.
Musacchio, who seemed comfortable starting these attacks for Milan, and as I say that, he's nowhere near Bonaventura with the pass. Where I was going with that was, again, what are some of the adjustments you're seeing from Milan first 10 minutes of the second half? Because they're not dominating, but it sure is a lot better than the first.
Well, the majority is they're just putting Dortmund under more pressure higher up the field with more energy. They're closing Dortmund down, who really had the run of play. Every time they won possession, they won the possession high. They won it either in AC Milan's half, or AC Milan had to clear their lines from being under pressure, and Dortmund was able to get the ball in areas like that and just pass it around without really put under any kind of pressure whatsoever. This second half, they've stepped higher. They've made things more difficult. They've won a handful of second balls, which in the first half they won 0 second balls. Every ball was won by Dortmund. And the question mark will be is then, can they turn that pressure? Can they turn a little bit more possession into goal-scoring opportunities? They've yet to go that far into this match, but it's definitely looked better from AC Milan than it did at the beginning of the first half.
Rodriguez worked himself into trouble there. Kessié trying to get him out of it. Storari up toward Fabio Barini. And Dortmund will go backward to the young goalkeeper, Dominic Reimann. Second time in 3 preseason games he's been asked to play the second half. Again, the starter is expected to be Roman Burki, who started 40 out of 51 last year. Dembele on the run again. Jose Mauri, who's been quiet, slowed him down just slightly. Pulisic tried to cross. Çalhanoğlu broke it up. Socrates, Aubameyang. That one was deflected by Musacchio. No handball. Pulisic tried to leave it for Dembele, and Milan will escort it out for a goal kick. Mario Götze missed almost the entire second half of last season due to myopathy. Took him a while to diagnose that, and just made his return to the field competitively, at least, against Urawa Red Diamonds in Japan on Saturday. So looking for a second run out now that he's back with Dortmund after several years with Bayern Munich. Şahin, who scored the opening goal, drops it off. Abate deals with that, no problem. Got it to Barini, who's fouled by Christian Pulisic. Dortmund's been in control, scored the first 2 goals inside the first 20 minutes, but AC Milan has looked better in the second half.
Confirmation of Christian Pulisic's foul on Barini, but yeah, no question about it that AC Milan have at least tempered the attack of Borussia Dortmund in this second half. Dembele still looks to be the most active. Christian Pulisic finding in Bonaventura doing a good job, but again, that quick harassing, trying to win the ball back mentality of Borussia Dortmund, again, has been so difficult for AC Milan to break down.
Another International Champions Cup game coming your way tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. You don't have to get up early for that one. On ESPN2, Roma against PSG, the first soccer game from Comerica Park in Detroit. And Dortmund again struggling to defend, and so Kratis called for a foul and a yellow card on that tackle. He thought he got the ball. And it's going to be a dangerous free kick for Milan in the 60th minute.
Well, this is the pressure higher up the field, and it does. There's a replay. It looked like he did win the ball, but they have to defend the free kick as Baca came over and draw the foul. But it was something different than we saw in the first half. It's AC Milan putting pressure on Dortmund higher up the field and creating, okay, maybe they get the benefit of a call, but in the end, you have to have bodies in that area. You have to put a team under pressure to have an opportunity. And it's been a different AC Milan in this first 15 minutes.
For Dortmund, you don't like the foul being called, but a good chance for Reimann to work on setting up a first-team wall and facing a potentially world-class free kick. Hakan Çalhanoğlu, one of the best at these, takes aim, and it's deflected by the wall, out for a corner.
Yeah, the wall does its job. Çalhanoğlu obviously would love, again, showing his manager his capabilities. He's one of those 10 new signings for AC Milan.
22 million euros arriving from Bayer Leverkusen. Çalhanoğlu. And that one right into the arms of Reimann, who rolls out quickly. Gonzalo Castro straight up the gut. Uses Aubameyang as a decoy. Plays it across, and he's the main target. Goal number 3 for Borussia Dortmund. Number 2 for Aubameyang.
And again, once again, it's Christian Pulisic being the provider. And it's just a textbook counterattack. It's a poor corner straight into the arms of the Dortmund goalkeeper. Rolled out. Castro just has 60 yards to run with the ball without any pressure. Lays it out to, there's the initial rollout, top of the 18, and there it is, just maybe 70 yards to run without under pressure. Pulisic does a great job coming in and finds Aubameyang with the first-time ball. Takes one touch, finds his man, and back of the net. Easy as that. Yeah, a lot of hands in the air from the AC Milan defense.
That was my hand in the air. I thought it was offside. We never got a definitive look.
We didn't get a good look from the angle.
But he's so fast.
Well, yeah,
it wouldn't surprise you.
Well, it's hard to tell from the angle we were at, but there was a lot of AC Milan defenders, and there's Mario Götze coming onto the field. But again, an AC Milan defense that will look a lot different come the first match of the Serie A season than it is tonight.
Second goal for Aubameyang, and his third of this preseason now in 3 games, after he scored 40 in 46 games last year in all competitions. Götze in for Sebastian Rode. And Emre Moore in as well for Borussia Dortmund, replacing Dembele. Moore scored twice in the second half against Urawa Red Diamonds in the 3-2 Dortmund win in Japan on Saturday. And you also see Eric Durm in at the back, replacing Zagadou. You're watching the International Champions Cup on ESPN, presented by Heineken. Borussia Dortmund and AC Milan kicking off the tournament from Guangzhou, China. Free kick sent in. Offside flag up in the end. Pretty decent ball for AC Milan that they didn't really attack.
But a good job from an established back line. Borussia Dortmund, Bartra coming in. Obviously, Socrates getting their line just right on the free kick.
Patrick Catroni, young striker for AC Milan, also in up top, replacing Baca. And he scored 2 minutes into the friendly at Lugano with a left-footed finish. And another one, like you said, Casey, trying to prove he deserves to stay with the first team. Pulisic, who has certainly earned his spot and then some with a couple of assists and a drawn penalty kick, wins another foul there. With Gustavo Gomez also just into the game doing the defending. Emre Moore, one of his first touches. Jose Sosa also in for AC Milan as the changes reveal themselves. Here's Barini still in there for Milan, tackled away by Castro, and another foul that Dortmund players won't take happily to. Milan free kick. There's Gustavo Gomez, Paraguayan. Luca Antonelli just in on the ball for Milan, and Masaccio cleans up for him and shows some footwork as well. He may be making good on that audition to get at least a chance to play with Bonucci. Although offensive footwork probably less important than some of the defensive work. Aubameyang's second goal of the game from a Christian Pulisic assist, his second of the game, has made it 3-1. Here are some of the other changes being flashed up there. It's now Gomez and Masaccio at the back for AC Milan. Here's Çalhanoğlu playing in the middle with Sosa and Kessié now. Barini's pass picked off by Durm, the left back. You get all those straight?
I'm getting there.
I think everybody is. Pulisic again, he's seen plenty of the ball. Switching for Emre Moore, wants to get to his left. That's the scouting report. Dribbles too much.
Well, and that was really a case where, again, just tremendous play from Christian Pulisic, just coming inside, finding Moore at the far post. But then by that time when Moore had come in, taken 2-3 touches, there was probably 9 AC Milan shirts on the edge of that 18, blocking any kind of space for Moore to take a shot.
I do take it back. Zapata's still in there for Milan, and it's Gustavo Gomez, typically a center back, who's wide on the right, replacing Abate. All those center backs to get guys on the field. A little bit of shifting. Barini, one of the few starters still in there for Milan. I think the Milan fans win the dedication award tonight. We've heard them early and often despite the score. Antonelli finds Çalhanoğlu, but Cutrone not making the run. Here's Götze. And he can't find Emre Mor. MLS Soccer returns to ESPN Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, with an MLS special edition presented by Audi, Orlando City, and Atlanta United. Also streaming live on the ESPN app Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern in MLS Play. Here's Barini. Mauri inside for Kessié. Now Sosa, a couple of assists against Lugano, and a heck of a goal as well in that big second half. Can't connect, though, with Çalhanoğlu.
Promising. The crowd appreciates for one of the few times in this match that AC Milan have some possession higher up the field and look to create. Pass just a little bit off, but Dembele so much in this match, and particularly the first 15-20 minutes, just caused AC Milan, in particular Rodriguez, all kinds of troubles.
Sturari able to clean that one up at the last second for Milan. Milan getting more attacking opportunities here. Barini on the run has Çalhanoğlu in the box, and it was picked off by Paslak, the 19-year-old right back for Dortmund. Çalhanoğlu running at him again, to the left foot, fires it but can't hit the target. Hakan Çalhanoğlu still making his way in black and red.
But good defending. The last thing you want to do is let Çalhanoğlu come inside, create an opening on the goal. Difficult angle, has to hit it incredibly hard to beat Reinman from that kind of distance and that kind of angle. Shots wide, but Çalhanoğlu trying to impress his bosses early.
Musacchio with another win of a header for Milan. Here's Gustavo Gomez. And time for another substitution confirmed here.
Or
several.
Three.
Neven Subotic on the right, former U.S. under-17 international who switched to Serbia at the senior level. Andre Schürrle in the middle, and the youngster Alexander Isak on the right. Schürrle, now a veteran, trots on, and all smiles for Aubameyang. As we look back at his 2 goals, where will he be playing come September? A lot of discussion and a lot of cash remains to settle that out. This is Sosa trying to turn out of trouble. Paslak intercepted for Dortmund. Much more combination play from Milan. Catroni couldn't collect it, and Antonelli couldn't go after it because he was offside. Schürrle, first touch for him. Attacking against Gomez, often a center back. Got a foot to that one, and Zapata intercepts. Wins a foul, too, from the youngest Swedish player ever to score for the national team, Alexander Isak, 17 years old.
It's not a bad title.
No. And it wasn't Zlatan from whom he took it. Storari out of the back for AC Milan. Despite the score, big improvement in the second half.
And as Storari kind of clears the ball, let's take a look at Own the Save, brought to you by Ally. Now, Storari will not be the regular for AC Milan this year. That'll be Gianluigi Donnarumma. And Donnarumma, very interesting story this summer. He was in a contract dispute with AC Milan. Couldn't come to agreement. Him and his agent very vocal about that. So much so he's playing for the Italian under-21s, and a group of AC Milan players decide that they're going to go... AC Milan fans, behind the goal, decide to throw handfuls of fake money at Donnarumma. So much so that they have to actually stop the match to clean up all the money or fake money that's in the goal mouth. And in the end, the 18-year-old who's expected to be among the top goalkeepers in Europe is now being paid like one of the top goalkeepers in Europe and will be under a lot of pressure to perform, but one in which the AC Milan fans now much happier with their young superstar goalkeeper that he has signed his future to the club.
They just worked that out a week ago. And as part of it, his older brother was bought on a transfer and brought in to be his backup in goal.
Well, that's when you know you've got a future at the club, when they're bringing your brother in to make you happy. So, but all that does is it puts more pressure on a young goalkeeper. It puts a pressure on a guy like Donnarumma now, who established himself at a young age. Look around the world, Jonathan.
Incredible.
Look around the world and see how many big clubs are starting 18-year-old goalkeepers. None of them. So here's a young Italian goalkeeper broke in to be the star goalkeeper at a club the size of AC Milan, gets himself into a contract dispute, so much so that the fans were not very happy, let's say, with the young man. And now that he gets his blockbuster contract, it just puts him under that much more pressure to perform. If you're going to be paid like the goalkeeping stars around the world, guess what? You have to perform like the goalkeeping stars around the world. And we'll see if Donnarumma, now that he has gotten the contract he felt that he deserved, can he perform?
Played every minute of last year, 41 games in all competitions. In a season, he was 17 years old when it started. And that was his second year as the starter. He won the job when he was 16, turning 17. Just amazing, as you said, to start at a club that big at that age. He's already debuted for Italy, and he's considered the heir apparent to Gianluigi Buffon.
Well, now, if you want to believe reports, he's probably the second highest paid goalkeeper in Italy behind Buffon. And with that comes a level of responsibility for the young man. And so far, he's shown that he's, really ages above his actual birth date. But now there's a different pressure that comes, once you're rewarded with that contract. And we'll see how the young man, how he does under that kind of pressure.
Subotic on the left, working with Schürrle and Durm, and it'll be an AC Milan throw. Feels like the inclusion of Masaccio in this second half, despite the goal allowed, has been one of the factors that's let Milan look more comfortable as you look for individuals who may have helped themselves this early in preseason. And again, for Milan, they've got Europa League qualifying in 9 days. So it's soon that Montella is going to have to make big competitive lineup decisions.
Yeah, and he's, you mentioned earlier that 4 of those big summer signings, including Bonucci, have yet to really arrive with the club, and they're en route as we speak.
Offside called against Schürrle.
And so, yeah, there's no question that this AC Milan team is going to have to figure some things out sooner rather than later. And once again, if we believe what we read, the summer spending spree from the new Chinese owners with AC Milan might not be over yet. There still could be a blockbuster move for a star striker. And Aubameyang, if he is one of those players that they're looking at, hasn't done himself any harm by scoring a couple goals tonight.
It's actually his old club, AC Milan. Would they bring him back for a pretty penny? You're watching the International Champions Cup on ESPN, presented by Heineken. And Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang starting it off with 2 of the 3 goals. Christian Pulisic, the American teen who's still in the game, 2 assists and drew a penalty kick. Might be a contender for man of the match. And he has been subbed out now, I beg your pardon.
Well, we talked about the over-under at halftime. Well, we've met that as the second half, and then some, as the second half has continued.
All sorts of shirts being pulled there, and the foul eventually goes in the favor of Socrates, battling with the Milan youngster. Catroni, just 19, been in the Milan academy since he was 8.
Well, I like that refereeing. Both players have a handful of shirt of each other. So who do you call? You don't call anybody. You let it play itself out, and the experience of Socrates wins out and eventually gets goal side and relieves the pressure with the foul.
Antonelli into the box. It deflects just wide. Wasn't the shot he intended. Almost worked out for Milan.
Yeah, Calhanoglu does a great job, and on the overlap of Antonelli as Paslak goes to clear, Antonelli knows not much about it and almost finds its way. One of those moments where Reinmann in goal for Dortmund has that little heart in his mouth moment as the ball deflects off of Antonelli and almost finds its way into the far post corner.
He's saying, they can't blame me for this, can they? Dortmund obviously controlling this one, especially in the first half, leading it 3-1. New coach in Peter Bosz, even if the personnel is pretty similar, as they defend Calhanoglu here. Leaving it Antonelli this time on his left, and it's blocked by a sliding Socrates.
Antonelli's come in, done well, showed some good energy getting on the overlap. Calhanoglu as well, coming inside, finding his man. A little bit behind him, or maybe Antonelli just a little bit too quick to get on the overlap. But Socrates does a great job of helping his goalkeeper out.
Reinmann with a punch of the corner kick, important one for him. Sosa brings it down for Milan. Jose Mauri, who's played the whole game, had that one broken up. But what I wanted to ask was, Peter Bosz comes in, do you see things changing? If so, what?
It sure
for
doesn't
Dortmund?
look like it. It looks like it's what you've seen over the last couple of years. High pressure, lots of energy, finding the talented young players out wide to create chances. Good runs from Aubameyang in the middle to get on the end of those crosses from the young talented wingers. I see nothing changing. The one thing that I did find entertaining was the Dutch coach speaking in English on the sideline to his players. I remembered that well at my time in Germany, where the majority of my team spoke very good English, and we could probably have done our team talks in English and more players understood than if they did the team talk in German.
Dortmund, Champions League quarterfinalists last year. And again, they'll have the German Super Cup coming up August 5th against Bayern Munich. Now, the newest 30 for 30 film, George Best, all by himself. Great look at the soccer star. Premieres this Thursday night on ESPN. If you don't want to wait, the film is currently available now for streaming, ESPN On Demand. Looking forward to watching that one.
I had a couple interactions with George Best in my early years in England. We did a question and answer session one time and a television show together. And
I was going to ask if he scored against you.
Yeah, I'm not that old. But we had some great conversations about his time in America and how much he enjoyed playing in the old NASL.
One of the legends of that league, and certainly by those who saw him, played with and against him, virtually incomparable player. Milan cleared that one out to make sure something was taken care of. I think it was Şahanoglu, German-born Turkish international, who after years in the Bundesliga now moves to Serie A. ICC continues in China tomorrow. Bayern Munich and Arsenal play tomorrow morning on ESPN3. And then comes to the U.S. starting Wednesday night. All of those games available via the ESPN app. As Dortmund with the 3-1 lead, attack here. Paslock, the young right back, goes inside for Şahin, who's been ever present today. Paslock won that one. Emre Moore drops it off. Here's Götze. Trying to combine with Isak up the middle. Emre Moore. That shot takes a deflection and runs out for a corner kick.
Yeah, Moore just couldn't get the ball under control. Had Schürrle open if he could have, and in the end has to take a second touch. Schürrle's then out of position. Elects to go himself. Two AC Milan defenders in the way. Might not have been the best option, but won a corner for his side.
Third corner kick for Dortmund. Schürrle delivers, looking for Subotic. Got a head to it, but couldn't direct it to threaten Storari. Kessier's been in there the whole game for Milan. And he's arriving on loan from Atalanta. They're going to find a way for him to play with the Milan first team this year, you would assume. Okay, maybe you can't assume anything with 10 new signings.
And more to come, possibly.
Yeah. Renato Sanchez. Kind of up and down winger with Bayern Munich is one of those names linked with Milan.
And again, I mean, you heard the FC boys talk about it at halftime, that it's not exactly a case.
Emre Moore into the penalty area. Still wanted to get back to that left and was turned away.
But it's not a case where they're necessarily bringing in guys where you're saying this is better than what AC Milan already has. So some of it's squad building, some of it is competition building. But at the same time, when you finish sixth in Serie A as AC Milan, you want to bring in guys that are going to make instant impacts for your team. And I'm not sure someone like Renato Sanchez is a guy that's going to come into this AC Milan team and instantly make them better. Yes, it could be a guy for the future, but are you necessarily looking for the future right now, or are you looking for somebody that is going to make your squad competitive from game one?
Yeah, Bonucci obviously falls in that category, and if they can line up a move for a big name forward, that is another one that would check that box.
But the rest of the players brought in those 10 aren't necessarily guys where you're saying, yes, this is an out-and-out starter. This is a guy that is going to make this AC Milan team competitive against Juve.
That one falls. Emre Moore in the penalty area. He's offside. And Sturari made the save anyway, frustrated with his defense. But the offside flag would have negated all of it.
You can just see on the replay, just half a body offside. But again, when you're looking at these two teams over the run of play throughout this match, there's a very clear winner in this game. And that Borussia Dortmund team right now, in what we've seen between these two sides, is the much better team. And something that AC Milan is as you mentioned, they've got qualifying coming up for Europa League in 9 days. They don't have much time to get it right. And they're bringing on some guys for the 3 minutes.
Youngsters getting a run out here in the ICC. I mean, these are guys up from the Primavera squad for 3 minutes. Better to play or to play?
Oh, of course, always better to play, but I'm sure they would have loved to have come on, at least give themselves 10 minutes to give themselves an opportunity to impress.
You mentioned quick timetable, a lot of players to look at. They may not have that luxury at this part of preseason. That's Zanolato coming in for Kessié was the change that got made. Matteo Gabbia in as well. He had the touch there. And he plays Cutrone through. He's onside. Chance for a goal. Ryman stands him up. Subotic runs him over and got the ball. No call. And a big stop for the young goalkeeper, Ryman. Early outlet for Emre Moore. Still, Isak, his shot was blocked and cleared.
Yeah, and it's Emre Moore again. I mean, you mentioned it early that the scouting report is that it's just a few touches too many. And again, it was an opportunity off of a very quick transition after Ryman makes the first save, and then with the help of his defense, comes up in possession and whips a quick ball out. And Moore has Isak wide open in the middle, takes one touch too many, and the Milan defense is able to, in the end, recover.
Dortmund going to open the Champions Cup with a win. Quick takeaways, Casey?
They look far more advanced at this stage of preseason than AC Milan. They look like a team that kind of what you want to see with a successful team. A couple new faces coming in to help compete and just keep people on their toes, and an AC Milan team with so many widespread changes that we won't see the best of AC Milan probably until halfway through the upcoming season to try to find the best combinations, the best starting 11 with so many new faces coming in.
Dortmund trying to close out a 3-1 win, looking for one more, and it's right into the arms of the goalkeeper, Sturari. Borussia Dortmund take control early with a 2-0 lead and move on from there. Gabbia to Zanolato. One last attack for AC Milan.